A San Diego law firm is suing rideshare companies Uber and Lyft for what it says are the shocking numbers of sexual assaults drivers are committing on female passengers. This fall, the firm is expected to square off with Lyft in a first-of-its-kind civil trial, and millions of dollars are on the line. Good evening, I'm Lindsay Pena. That firm says the rideshares are not doing enough to protect passengers. In an exclusive investigation, ABC 10 News anchor Vanessa Van Hefty talked with survivors and shares what Uber and Lyft are saying about those allegations.
I almost froze, kind of like, I don't know, I was fearing for my life almost, because I just don't really, I've never been in a situation like that. So I did say, stop.
This Oceanside mother of two traumatized over a trip to the gas station for groceries in November 2020.
Just almost felt like it wasn't really happening, like it was surreal.
We are not showing her face because she is a survivor. She says her Lyft driver dropped her off at home. Before she could get out, she says he climbed on top of her.
He was forcing his tongue down, on me, trying to kiss me, his hands down my pants, saying I want sex.
It didn't end there. She says the driver locked her in the car and took off.
He was driving towards the beach and I was screaming, please let me out. I was just like, please just stop. Like, I'm gonna call the cops, terrified.
After a mile, he slowed down at this Oceanside exit where she escaped. She went to police. A warrant has been issued by the San Diego Sheriff's Department for the driver's arrest. A Lyft spokesperson said, as soon as this incident was reported to us, we reached out to the rider to offer our full support, permanently removed the driver from the Lyft community, and made contact with law enforcement to assist in their investigation. The woman's story is one of nearly 300 sexual assault ride-hailing cases Esty and Bomberger are litigating against both Uber and Lyft. Trial lawyer Steve Esty, who has numerous national record-setting verdicts, will take on Lyft in September in the first-of-its-kind trial against a rideshare company in the country. He has filed mass tort lawsuits against both Uber and Lyft.
The rideshare platforms have inadvertently created a platform for sexual predators.
Esty will argue the ride hail was negligent in numerous ways and failed to protect female passengers from a known danger. The complaint alleges Lyft's response to this sexual predator crisis amongst Lyft drivers has been appallingly inadequate. Similarly, the complaint against Uber argues Uber induces young, unaccompanied, intoxicated, or vulnerable women to use its product with the expectation of safety, all while knowing that sexual abuse of Uber's passengers is prevalent.
The background check is a minimal background check. It's not fingerprint based. And so you start with that, and then you go to the lack of supervision. And they can easily put cameras in the car. They won't do that because they know what it's going to show.
The California Public Utilities Commission regulates the ride shares. It fined Uber $59 million in December of 2020 for failing to hand over detailed data about sex assaults. Ultimately, the case was settled. Uber agreed to pay $9 million. In their community safety report submitted voluntarily to the CPUC, Lyft reported 4,158 sexual assaults from 2017 to 2019. Uber reported 5,981 sexual assaults in 2017 through 2018. When asked by ABC 10 News how many total trips were taken by single female passengers during that time, we were told the data did not exist. The assault numbers in the Community Public Safety Report only account for 5 of 21 subcategories of sexual misconduct and assault, with a wide range from flirting to rape. Esty says these numbers would likely be far higher if all subcategories were included. According to the Department of Justice, 2 out of every 3 women assaulted don't report. Esty says that includes this client. She says she was assaulted by an Uber driver in the gas lamp in 2015, driving back to the Hilton Hotel.
I just kind of froze and he took my breast out of my bra.
She says the driver followed her to her room.
He walked with me to my room because he was trying to have sex with me.
She says she had a mental breakdown but never reported.
Because I just figured, because I'm a bigger girl, it just would be hard for them to believe that. I spent a lot of years of blaming myself for that night, and so that also kept me from filing anything.
A spokesperson for Uber said the details reported by the rider are disturbing. We take these types of reports seriously and began our investigation as soon as we became aware of these allegations. The driver no longer has access to the platform and hasn't had access to the platform for several years. Esty says ride-hail assaults are happening at an alarming rate on a daily basis based on Uber and Lyft's own safety reports, and women need to know.
I have daughters, and so I won't let them ride alone late at night in an Uber or Lyft. But if they are in an Uber or Lyft, I make sure there's a buddy system in place, or they're talking to someone on the phone the whole time, and make sure they don't ride in the front seat or the right rear passenger seat. That tends to be where the predators begin groping. So if you sit behind the driver, it's a little bit safer. So there are things you can do to make sure your ride is safe.
Both Uber and Lyft engineered a series of safety features, including an emergency button that allows riders to connect to 911 on the app, trip sharing that allows riders to share their location with family and friends, and GPS tracking. The companies also share information about deactivated drivers reported for assault. But Esty and his clients say the companies need to do more, starting with mandatory cameras in all cars, fingerprint background checks, and letting riders know the risk.
I never thought something like that would happen. I thought I was in a safe place. Maybe it will bring other women to come forward, be a little bit more aware of who they are hiring.
Vanessa Van Hefty, ABC 10 News.
Uber and Lyft say their work on safety is never done, and they remain committed to investigating technology and building safety policies. In 2020, they expanded sexual misconduct and assault in education with drivers and established a dedicated survivor resource hotline and fund to provide support for survivors who report assault on the app. Both say drivers are re-screened annually for offenses on the local, state, and federal levels. 2 weeks ago in Australia, Uber rolled out an app that allows women to hire a female-only driver. You can find a more detailed report with Vanessa's findings, as well as additional statements from Uber and Lyft regarding their safety protocols, and full copies of those complaints at 10news.com. Again, that story and more is on 10news.com.